Most people think of the Black Death as a single disaster, a wave of death that swept through Europe and then disappeared. But for the people who lived through it, it did not feel like one event. It felt like the world slowly falling apart, day by day, without explanation. So the real question is not how many people died. The real question is, what was it like to live while it was happening? 1. A world without explanations. In the middle of the 14th century, people did not know what bacteria were. They did not know about viruses. They did not know how diseases spread. When people suddenly became sick, they looked for meaning, not causes. Some believed the air itself was poisoned. Others believed God was punishing humanity. Many thought the end of the world was approaching. For most people, none of these ideas were abstract. They were trying to explain why their neighbor was healthy in the morning and dead by nightfall. Fear came before understanding, and fear spread faster than the disease itself. 2. How the disease appeared. The plague did not arrive loudly. There were no warnings, no clear beginning. People simply started falling ill. It often began with fever and exhaustion. Then painful swellings appeared, usually in the neck, armpits, or groin. These swellings could grow large and dark, and they were extremely painful. Soon after, many people died, sometimes within days, sometimes within hours. What made this especially terrifying was how random it seemed. Young, strong people died just as quickly as the weak and old. For medieval people, this felt deeply wrong. Illness was supposed to make sense. This one did not. 3. Everyday life during the plague. As the disease spread, daily life began to change. Markets closed or became quiet. Travel slowed down. People avoided each other, even family members. In many towns, the sound of church bells never stopped. They rang so often for funerals that people stopped counting the dead. Gravediggers worked day and night. In some places, there were not enough coffins. Bodies were buried together in large pits. This was shocking in a world where burial rituals mattered deeply. To be buried properly was important for the soul. Now, many people were buried without prayers, names, or ceremony. For the living, this created a constant sense of unease. Death was no longer distant. It was everywhere. 4. Medicine without medicine. Doctors were present, but they had very little to offer. Medical knowledge was based on ancient ideas about balance in the body. Illness was believed to come from too much heat, cold, dryness, or moisture. Treatments included bloodletting, herbal mixtures, and strong smells meant to cleanse the air. None of these worked. Some doctors wore long coats and masks with beak-like noses, filled with herbs. They believed bad air caused disease, and that pleasant smells could protect them. To modernize, this looks strange. But at the time, it was a serious attempt to survive with the knowledge available. For ordinary people, medicine offered little comfort. Survival often felt like pure luck. 5. Who people blamed. When fear has no explanation, it looks for targets. In many places, minorities were accused of causing the plague. Jewish communities were especially targeted, often falsely blamed for poisoning wells. Violence followed these accusations. Entire communities were destroyed, not because of evidence, but because people needed someone to blame. Others blamed foreigners, travelers, or the poor. Anyone who seemed different became suspicious. The plague did not just kill bodies. It broke trust between people. 6. Life after loss. In some regions, nearly half the population died. In others, even more. Survivors found themselves in a strange new world. Fields were empty. Workshops stood silent. Entire families were gone. But something unexpected happened. Because there were fewer workers, those who survived suddenly had more value. Wages slowly rose. Peasants could sometimes demand better conditions. This did not mean life became easy. Grief was everywhere. But the old order had cracked. The plague changed how people saw work, power, and even themselves. 7. How people made sense of it. People did not forget the plague when it ended. They carried it with them for the rest of their lives. Some became more religious, others lost faith entirely. Art began to reflect death more openly. Stories, songs, and images focused on the fragility of life. For medieval people, this was not morbid. It was honest. They had learned, in the hardest way possible, that life could change overnight. 8. The quiet truth. The Black Death was not just a medical disaster. It was a human one. It reshaped families, cities, beliefs, and social rules. It taught people that safety was fragile and certainty was rare. For most people who lived through it, there was no lesson and no meaning. There was only survival. And for those who survived, life continued. Different, quieter, more careful. This, for them, became normal.